Hey there, Storm fans, Bryant Cook, and today we are fixing Ad Nauseam Tendrils. You heard me right. I am going to fix the other Storm deck. So Ant is a deck that has struggled a lot since 2019. There's been Mystic Sanctuary making discard spells bad, on top of a bunch of other things. Past in Flames hasn't aged well in the Force of Negation Endurance world. A bunch of things we're going to go through today and just, talk about some of the issues with Ant and potentially fix those. So one of the big things, and this comes up fairly often in the Legacy Storm Discord, and that's that Preordain isn't really a legacy power level card anymore. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean. It's just that time is of the essence in a post-London Mulligan world. Preordain made a lot more sense pre-London Mulligan, and while the deck hasn't really adapted in quite some time. So pre-London Mulligan, the value of Preordain was at an all-time high. Since then, you can just mulligan for free, get better card equity, not spend time where your opponent's casting powerful spells against you. So Preordain's probably that first card that needs to go. So we're going to cut Preordain, and let's add in some Wishclaw Talismans. All right. So we're going to add in some Wishclaw Talismans. Similarly, Duress isn't really a card that's playable anymore. It's just not really good, if I'm being honest. Discard spells are bad against Sanctuary, but also terrible against Endurance, which is just like one of the main cards that hurts this deck. And, multiple forces. So we're going to cut Duress and add in some copies of Veil of Summer. Let's side in this one from the sideboard. All right, so now we're starting to look like a better deck, right? Like our deck has actual action in it. We have more powerful cards with Veil of Summer. It's all great, but we're still a pretty bad Ad Nauseam deck. Like we have this 5-mana tutor here, and we just added in Wishclaw, so we can probably cut that. And honestly, I don't think Empty is aged particularly well. Like the Epic Storm only plays it in its sideboard now. So one of the problems with Empty is like Murktide Regent and Dragon's Rage Channeler and Delver all fly over the goblins. So the matchup where this is best in, they just fly over it, and it's just not great. So we're going to cut Empty the Warrens from the deck as well, and that's opened up a few slots. So what do we do with those slots? Well, this is a bad Ad Nauseam deck. So let's add in a couple Chrome Mox, and let's fix that. So Chrome Mox. All right, so we've added in 2 Chrome Mox. Now our Ad Nauseams are more consistent. But if we're really looking to have a better Ad Nauseam, we should probably not be playing Thoughtseize, because Thoughtseize loses 2 life. It gets a little bit awkward. So I don't know. Can we really afford to not play Thoughtseize? I guess that's the question. But let's cut them for now. We can always circle back. Maybe like 1 defense grid. Okay. So now we have 7 protection spells. It's looking a little bit better. And defense grid is, a powerful card. So now our deck is dead to opposing copies of Veil of Summer. So one thing that Demonic Tutors has done recently is added in Burning Wish. So we can add in a few copies of Burning Wish. All right, so let's do those. But 10 Tutors is a lot, so we'll cut a couple copies of Infernal Tutor. Why not? And now we have Burning Wish in our deck, Infernal Tutor, Wishclaw, all really, really powerful effects. So I guess one thing that this deck, if we're going to play Burning Wish, we should probably have some Galvanic Relay. Like that card is just so powerful right now. So let's add in Galvanic Relay. We'll just put 4 on the sideboard for now, and we can always trim. And honestly, I kind of want to play 1 in the main deck. And if we're going to play 1 in the main deck, I think that we can probably start to think about, hey, what makes Galvanic Relay and Ad Nauseam good? Probably another Chrome Mox. Like just having zeros with Relay and Ad Nauseam are both like really, really powerful. So if we're going to do that, how many artifacts do we have? Now let's sort this. 11, 12, 16. That's a lot. I think you could actually add in Mox Opal. So let's add in some copies of Mox Opal. All right, so let's go back to the card view. So now this is looking a little bit better, but we're lacking red mana for Galvanic Relay. Let's add in Rite of Flame. And if we're playing Rite of Flame, we probably don't need Cabal Ritual, because Cabal Ritual, it costs 2 life on Ad Nauseam. And you have all these permanents which argue with the Cabal Ritual, because with Cabal Ritual, you really want cards they go to the graveyard, not cards that go onto the battlefield. So we're going to cut Cabal Ritual. All right, so now we're at 64 cards. 15 lands is a lot. I think we could probably cut the base, like basic lands aren't even that good. Well, maybe the swamp's fine. Let's keep the swamp. All right, so let's add that swamp back in there. I didn't mean that swamp, you're glorious. But Bayou stinks, we're definitely cutting Bayou. And if we're running Rite of Flame and Veil of Summer, we should probably be playing Taiga, right? So we'll add in Taiga. And then we have to fix the fetches a little bit, like Misty Rainforest isn't that good. So we probably want Mire. And then Verdant. Okay. So I think we could probably get rid of this Thoughtseize. And now we're at 60 again, and this deck list is looking pretty darn good now. I think one thing that you could ask is, like, is this still a good Past in Flames deck? We probably want to keep one card with Flashback, so let's switch it out for another card with Flashback, and we'll add in Echo of Aeons. So we'll cut the Past in Flames, we'll put this Echo on the board. And now, well, Echo has this problem with Infernal Tutor. Infernal Tutor doesn't get Diamond, which is really awkward, or Echo on its own. So let's just cut these and add in 2 more copies of Burning Wish. That's 60 in the main deck. I like that. I'm not really a big fan of Fluster in the board. I just think that, like, you have these powerful effects in your main deck, like Veil of Summer Defense Grid, you don't need Fluster. Echoing, like, this is one of the things I dislike about Amp sideboards. They have so many cards that do the same thing. So, like, you have this Echoing Truth, Oracle's Recall. Like, that are, like, why do you have all these cards that do the same thing? So let's add in 1 copy of Chain of Vapor. We can probably cut the Surgical. Grape Shot's a sweet card. I love that card. But, like, right now, Carpet of Flowers is really good. So let's add 4 carpets. Like, Jax actually just posted to Twitter about how good Carpet is. So that actually brings us up to 14. We probably want, like, a Sideboard Tendrils. And then let's swap the Grape Shot for an Empty the Warrens, just because, like, it does beat, like, the Narset effects. So something like this, I think, actually would be pretty good. Like, you could probably call this new Ant if you wanted to, but this is what I would recommend. These are the changes. And happy April Fool's Day. Thanks for being a fan. Take care. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.